What's going on, everybody? This is Kane Michael here at NAMM 2017. We are in the Pioneer DJ booth, specifically the studio booth. We're here with Stuart, the product specialist, and today he's going to be talking about the brand new AS1 monologue synthesizer and the SP16 Sampler that were both in collaboration with Dave Smith. He obviously knows way more about it than I do, so I'm going to hand the mic off to him, and he's going to go over how rad these things are.
All right, thanks, Ken. So first, let's start off by looking at the SP16 standalone sampler sequencer. This was our first venture into working with Dave Smith, so right off the bat, you're going to notice that it's a fully analog Dave Smith filter. This is the filter off of the Prophet 6. It does have overdrive, so you can actually overdrive it and get a lot of nice harmonic richness out of it. This can be assigned to either the master or into individual tracks. So going down through the unit, you have a full 7-inch touchscreen. This is where you can get in and manipulate any part of the sound that you want, whether it's the playback engine of it, it's assigning effects onto the unit itself, or if you want to go into mixing your track, you have all your mixing parameters right here as well. Now, this can play back either 16 one-shot samples or 16 loops. If you do have 16 loops on here, they will actually real-time time stretch. So if you're using this in a live environment connected to a CDJ, it will time sync to the CDJ. And if you're adjusting the pitch on the CDJ, it will actually match the tempo, it will actually match the tempo of the CDJ right there. So moving down, you can either sequence with step sequencing right here, or you can do live overdubbing and just drum things in. You have a touch strip on the side, and this touch strip can be used for pitch, note repeat, and with the hold feature, you can do cool things like... And also you have 2 user modes. Now, this user mode, each one of these can stack up to 7 different parameters, all controlled with this one movement. So you can do things like a pitch, note repeat, and then also affect the wet dry of the effect on that sound, all with this one movement right here. Now, this was the first in our series of Tarais, and it actually is the kind of the mothership to what we just announced today, which is the AS1 analog synth. Now, this, again, in collaboration with Dave Smith, you can picture this as kind of a mini version of the Prophet 6. It's 4 oscillators. 2 of the oscillators are wave adjustable, so they can morph in between a triangle, a saw, and a square. And then there's a sub and a noise oscillator. Again, fully analog. This is the filter section right here, and this filter section has a low pass and a high pass. Again, the same filters off of the Prophet 6. Both have resonance, so you can use the resonance spike to get some nice TB303 action on this. Moving over, you have 1 LFO for modulation. If you do want 2 LFOs, you can actually go into the menu and switch the second oscillator to a second LFO, and you have 2 LFOs. The effect section right here is a 2-stage effect section, so you have the effects off of the Prophet 6 actually with the bucket delay and also with the infamous Dave Smith phaser on there, and you can run 2 simultaneous effects. Going down to the keyboard section right here, this keyboard section, you have a full arpeggiator on there. Also, you have a 64-step sequencer on there, and it does have the slew feature, so if you did want to emulate a TB303, you could use the slew feature on there to get the glides in between the notes. With the sequencing, it has a really cool feature where I can program in, let's say, my bass line, and then I can hit shift and play, and that locks in my sequence, and then I can go through other sounds on there and audition other sounds with my sequence that I programmed in there. Now, when a sequence is playing back, I can actually change the pitch of what the sequence is playing back at by just hitting the corresponding pad. So in this, also in these 13 pads right here, you can have them be quick cues, so I can assign up to 13 different presets inside of here for live performance and switch in between all 13 of my sounds on the fly. And then also with these, you can use these for your scale mode. There's 21 stored scales inside of here, and I can set it to like major, minor, pentatonic, Dorian, Lydian, and then hit my corresponding key, and then this will then become my root note. So if I wanted, let's say, mixed to Lydian and an F, I could set in the global menu to have the scale mode as that, and then I just hit F right here, and that changes this to my root note of F. So I can play in key. This slider on the side here can be assigned to 7 different parameters all acting at once, so that's where you could do maybe pitch up on oscillator 1, pitch down on pitch on oscillator 2, and then my wet dry of my effects as well as my cutoff on there. So with this one slider movement, you're going to have a ton of different movement inside of your sound itself. It has 495 presets, all designed by Dave Smith. And then the banks are factory, and then there's also a mirrored image of user, so you have 495 user presets that come standard with the factory, but you can tweak and then override them. When this does ship in March, you're going to have a full standalone PC or Mac-based sound editor, so if you don't want to go into the menus here, you can just edit your sounds. It also will have a full library menu, so you can organize your library. And then if you don't want to go in and do step sequencing, there's a full piano roll step sequencer that just exports right to here. It does integrate in your studio or live because you can either put MIDI out through the USB cable, or you can do it through the 5 pins. So if you're using something like Ableton or Logic, you just plug your USB, instant, sends MIDI back and forth. It has a metal chassis on it, and that about sums it up as far as the features. We can go through some of the sounds, or if you want to see how it integrates with here. Actually, on these right here, you have a dedicated Tarise AS1 channel. So when I'm switching in between my songs on here, I'll actually send a signal and switch through all the different parameters on here. So for live performance, you can have 16 songs, and then when you trigger it, it'll change the preset that you're working on here and also change the sequence that you're working on here. By routing the audio back through here, you then can use all the onboard effects of here as additional effects, and also a third filter. You have a low pass, high pass, and then you'd have this third filter to control this as well. If we just listen to some of the sounds by itself, we can go in and check out some of the standards. And then if you want to change the key on it, so those are just some of the sounds that are coming out of it. And then if you want, you can actually have this control this as well and have them work as one unit for performance.
Wow.
So it's pretty monstrous, especially when you plug a sub in it. It's got a lot of kick.
I mean, honestly, I was expecting something quality because it's Dave Smith, but like, I mean, that was incredible. I mean, that's
we tried to not only take Dave Smith's sound that he is known for, but then also with all the little upgrades in the features to make it much more applicable than just a synth. It's more of a live performance element, and also available in the studio with the ability to lock the sequence and then the 13 hot sounds to switch in between all of them on the fly. We're hoping that it's not only a studio gear, but it's primarily for live performance as well.
And you said it's coming out in March?
It should be coming out late March, and it retails for $499 US.
There you have it. I mean, absolutely incredible. Once again, I'm Kane Michael. This is Stuart here with Pioneer, and this is the AS1 and the SP16. Yeah, that's